Hi and welcome to another video on Bolt.DIY. So I've decided to make a few more videos on Bolt.DIY because, well, the more I use it, the more I think to myself, this software is awesome. Not enough people know just how good and how powerful Bolt.DIY actually is. So I've decided the next few videos I make will go through some of the really important features or really powerful features on Bolt.DIY. And in the future, I'll be looking at making more videos on various things to do with Bolt. Things like how to run it using local LMs, building web pages or complete web pages from scratch, building websites from scratch. You can take that further and build complete websites from scratch, how to set up Bolt and complete your development workflow, your development lifecycle, if you like, where we extend from Bolt and start looking at how we can leverage the projects that Bolt creates. I look at how we can author this content. We've got so much to go through when it comes to Bolt.DIY that I can't wait to get started. So in this video, I want to go through some of the most powerful tips that I can offer to you if you're looking to use Bolt.DIY for any development work. Okay, so let's start. So tip number one, the starting point. So when it comes to starting your projects inside of Bolt.DIY, you've got your starter templates, and I might even do a quick tutorial on using these to start your applications. But I just want us to have a look at these options over here. Okay, we've got the import chat, import folder, and clone git repo. So I just want to go through the clone git repo first. Okay, so the way to use this is you simply click it, and then here you can supply a URL for a Git repository. So here's one I have already, so I'm just going to copy this one, and all I need to do is supply that value inside of this URL. Now, the very first time I do this, it will ask me for some additional information. So I'm going to drop some gems for you so that you won't get stuck like I might have done. So the first thing you do is you paste in your Git URL. You press OK, then you'll be asked for your Git username. And so, for example, my Git username is here in the top corner. Okay, so that's where you'll find your Git username. And then you'll be asked to supply your personal access token. So I did a whole bunch of digging around and was able to find exactly where the personal access tokens are. And the token, you'll find the personal access token, well, token classic, you'll find that inside of the settings area, developer settings, and then you'll see tokens classic. So you just want to generate one of these tokens, and that's what you will supply inside of Bolt.DIY. So you can see I've supplied my value inside of there, and it has loaded in my, let's just jump into the code, it's loaded in my repository, and I'm poised, ready to begin coding and adding additional features to this code base. Now, I'm not sure if you understand what the power of that actually means. It means that we can access a Git repository, any Git repository we can lay our hands on, and with that code base, we can bring it into Bolt.DIY and begin coding on it. So, for example, let's see, this is a to-do app that I've created previously. So I can put in some tasks, and I can just carry on working on this app. I can add new features to it by prompts. This is a super powerful feature. Think of all the Git repositories you've got or that you've had through the years. This is amazing, and we can really take this to a next level or to the next level. Awesome. So that is tip number one. Okay, so tip number two, to import folder. So in my computer, in my file system somewhere, I have already created a folder with all of my code base inside. So with this, very, very powerful, I would select a folder that I know has all my details in. You can see I'm already at a folder here. Here's another to-do application, but this one is created using Bootstrap. So to load this code base in, I simply just need to select the folder and choose upload. And that will upload it to my Bolt instance. And you can see I can begin developing on my previously accessed code base. Very similar to the Git repository, but this time I'm able to start off right where I left off, because that is a common thing. The more you work with your Bolt application, the more you've created, and you want to retain or be able to resume your development from where you left off. So this is a fantastic option to download it and then save it and open up the code base again. So again, this is a to-do app that works slightly different. Not sure which model I used, but you can see this works in the exact same way. And I can also begin prompting this app similar to how I did previously. So that is tip number 2. Okay, tip number 3, importing your chat. So in order to use this feature, I find this feature really, really helpful, especially if you're in that situation where you've been coding for some time, or you've been prompting for some time, and you really want to save your progress so you can go back to it. And I want to show us, I suppose, a bonus tip on top of the import chat feature. So I'm just going to choose import chat, and I'm going to find a chat that I would like to resume. So here is let's just see where I was up to with this, or what I was doing. So here is a app that I created actually outside of Bolt, but I was able to bring it into Bolt and work on it a little bit more. And what's really, really powerful with this is not only have I got the entire chat intact, I've also got access to these things. So what these options allow you to do, or this option allows you to do, where you can fork, it basically allows you to have a checkpoint, a restore point. So I can restore my chat right back to, or I can restore my app rather. Let me just accept this. I can restore my app to that point in time where I created a prompt. If you can imagine, almost like a checkpoint or a git commit. So over here, you can see this is my app that I created. And what I can do over here is I can say revert to this message. And what that does, it will roll back the clock to that point in time. That is super powerful. So if you've been creating and you find your design has gone one direction and you want to U-turn it and think, okay, I don't want this approach. I don't like this approach. I want to switch the approach to how it was previously, a couple of steps before. This is really helpful because you can just choose the fork from message, and that lets you rewind the time to that place in time. So that is tip number 3, using the import chat. Well, suppose before I sign off on that one, I've not really mentioned how to create one of these chats. So let's say you've been coding for some time and you want to save your progress into one of these chats that you can load. You can just hit this option here, and this option at the bottom, export chat, will allow you to save the entire chat log. And I suppose once it's a file, you can share it with people. You can save it to resume. It's all about helping you with that starting point. So there we have it. There's just a few tips focused around your starting point when it comes to using Bolt.DIY. If you are new to this and just want to know how to install Bolt.DIY, the easiest way, I think, is using Docker. That's really easy to manage, and you get consistent results all the time. I've actually got a video on how to do that, so please check the video out, and stay tuned for more video tutorials on using Bolt.DIY.